All right, here goes, and this is basically probably one of the last videos that I have to upload and present right now. So it's in the opinion form. So I don't know what else anybody thinks it's supposed to be the opinion of. If I'm sitting here on YouTube and I'm talking about particular things from my mind, so maybe it's because it's like what Rush Limbaugh said on the radio that I was a nobody. Yeah. Rush Limbaugh, I like listening to him on the radio, but he elevated me. Somebody who defends him all the time on YouTube and other places, you know, he elevated me or demoted me. So it's not elevation, it's a de-elevation, basically, to nobody status. He just said all his listeners were nobodies because nobody talks about him in a positive way or something like that. So he's given more credence to other people being able to run the show and be a somebody, even though they're dirty people. Okay, Rush. I'll still listen to your radio show. I'm confused. But anyhow, so my opinion, my opinion here. I had to put that in the title because I don't know what with people on here or whatever. I'm not using ads anymore. So, um, in order to use an ad, I guess on here, you have to put my opinion. So, I don't know. It really makes me want to curse. It makes me want to say the F word. It really does. So, anyways, in my opinion, because I seen a UFO, and the UFO that I saw didn't look like something out of this world. It looked like something that was in this world that could have been out of this world or whatever. But I've seen some documentaries and stuff on the YouTube about different things, about the pyramids in Egypt, in Giza. So, anyways, the UFO that I saw was not a round disc. It didn't look like a water dish or a plate or anything like that or a template. It looked like the object that I saw in particular looked like the pyramids in Egypt. So I mean, it looked like it to the core. I mean, to from the outside to maybe all the way thoroughly inside. It was the same thing. Had the same chambers. Had the same concepts and mechanisms going on. But it didn't look like something that I hadn't already seen, except for the fact that it was brand new. It looked brand new, like it was in uh, what do you say, full working order. Uh, I don't know how you explain that. It was a machine, obviously that was online doing something, and I don't know if it was coming through like some kind of porthole or something like that. But the thing came up, stopped me and my friend when we ran. We were not running. We were walking to go check it out, and I explained this all on um, my one of my first videos, like my very first video on this. So if you go and search on my channel and you look up the very first video that I did, I explain in vivid details on either the first or the second one of those two. It's in, I believe, titled "The Reason Why I Made This Channel." So I wanted to make a channel about phenomenon, so like we can talk about Bigfoot to aliens, or demons or anything you want on here. It's an open mic and people have basically the right to come on and express their own opinions. At times, if people did do that, and if they were lucky enough to catch me on here at the time. Um, but anyways, that makes me believe that it's not uh, aliens. It's people who, um, not people, but it's the fallen angels. That's who I believe it is because, um, obviously, they're intelligent. So they're also an extraterrestrial if they're not, let's say, formerly from Earth or whatever, and Earth was made after their existence. So they've been here since before the time of man. Um, I believe that it's part of Roswell crash is part of suckering everybody, and they planted the demons, planted the spaceship, UFO, the alien bodies, and all that. They made it so that the bodies of the aliens, the DNAs, and everything like that just wouldn't compute to this Earth, you know. So um, it's an opinion that I have on it that it is that they're not from some other planet. Um, I really believe that if there was another planet out there, they'd be closer to looking just like us. So they could either take form and shape into uh, a human uh, form, right? So maybe that's where the different human species on Earth are from different places, you know, that God made. So I'm not sure exactly how it all works, but that's what I believe. And I'm not questioning um, the people's existence and everything existing, not having a origin where it began from a creator, somebody who divinely put it all together. So as you know, sometimes as turbulent maybe as your thoughts can be, you in my opinion, when I look up into the sky and I look at the stars and the earth and everything, I see it had to have had a divine creator, and it was created, not um, just all of a sudden just some dust came from nowhere and some particles formed and boom exploded, and that's what caused the cosmos to expand. And we've got universes that have been doing this for bazillions of zillions and billion to billion years, that just so many long years ago that your little human mind can't wrap around the actual time frame on how much all this stuff just big boomed itself together. Okay. You guys keep on not believing, and I guarantee you, you guys won't feel safe. You'll feel threatened. You'll feel insecure, and like you got to get out of here. Well, what do I do if you're not a follower of Christ? Because Christ can't protect you from those different things, from being abducted, from you know, bad things from happening to you. Even Christians who aren't really doing what they're supposed to can be also, and maybe that's what I was doing. Um, I was just hanging out with non-believers. I'd say if I had committed a sin, and there was a reason for why this spaceship thing or whatever it was, this pyramid came up to me. It looked just like the pyramids in Giza, but a brand new pyramid, brand new. Maybe the reason for it presenting itself in front of me was because I had a little bit of my guard down. And the only sin that I can really trace back to that particular day, that morning, and the day and night before is hanging out with non believers. And it wasn't just like you're hanging out with just any non believers, they were actually dirty people. The guy ended up uh, snitching on a guy. He had the dent team come into his house. And he snitched on this one guy who had this bud. It was poop bud, and we it was chronic. It was loud. It was like super awesome marijuana. Really made you relax and feel comfortable. and stuff. Um, and he narked that guy off, so he got that guy busted. He actually set the guy up with the dent team in Roseburg, Oregon. Came in there. Um, what happened was he got busted somehow. He was on probation. Maybe it was the probation office came into his house and busted him with weed or something. Or I don't know exactly, but he was on probation and he stop it, and he decided to narc this guy off instead of going to jail and just taking it like a man and going to prison or whatever. So he also did another boo boo, and he turned in my other friend. I'm not quite sure exactly what Robert was doing. I wasn't really into all of Robert's business. I'm sure I'm aware of a lot of it if I think about it. And I know probably exactly what he was doing. I just can't. It doesn't click in my mind exactly what Robert Williams' exact operation was, but I do know that he was a good guy whenever it comes down to it. So my friend Robert um, was shot, and it says in the report that he was sleeping with this other guy's wife, but they were all at that point. Um, it sounded like they were all uh, on drugs. So the guy killed my friend for sleeping with his ugly wife, this ugly, nasty, uh, atrocious looking woman, this nasty woman, filthy scum. My friend was sitting there sleeping with. She should have got a divorce if she liked my friend that much, and then been with my friend legitimately instead of getting him killed. So basically, she got him killed because they had a thing for each other. And me, I would not ever shoot somebody over something like that if you had a particular time invested, maybe. But, anyways, so I gotta get back to this story. My friend was shot, but the guy whose house I was at was like a dirty rat. He like wasn't a stand-up guy. And if you're out there on the streets and you're doing criminal activity, um, you really, in my opinion, I think you really need to suck it up and take the hit if you did something wrong and you got caught doing it. That's just my opinion. I don't believe in snitching and being a rat at all. Telling the police anything that's helpful to them on their own, I mean, unless it's like a unless it's like a murder or something different like that. But um, people like Jay Thompson, that's what his name was, Jay Thompson, Jay and Amanda was their names. Um, living at Amanda's house, and we were hanging out and doing whatever the night before, and um, uh, she came in. He Jay liked to fool around on Amanda. And he did it with my girlfriends that I had, that I basically had a thing with. We were had a intimate kind of thing going, me and these females. He was the type of person that would scam on them. And while I was sitting there at home at his house with his wife, with his girlfriend Amanda or whatever, I didn't touch her, but I probably should have. I probably should have. Um, probably should have banged her good over that, but I did it. Um, I'm one of those type of people that when I see people screwing up, I just I'm glad at times it wasn't me because I'm human and I'm guilty of um, some real stupid stuff my own self, um, and also can admit that I didn't believe that it was, or I didn't not that I didn't believe it. I didn't see what I was doing was harmful, or that I was deviant or causing other people harm or anything. But at the time of the when I seen this UFO, I um I wasn't doing anything deviant like that. I wasn't sneaking around. I wasn't doing anything to cause any real alarm. And so the girl got mad at me for some reason. Maybe it's because I was with um, Jason, Jason Armstrong. And Jason Armstrong is the name of the guy. He's a cousin of mine who was there with me at Sunny Slope School in the Green District in Oregon, outside of Roseburg, where I had this sighting and I had a witness that was standing right next to me. As a matter of fact, he was the one that spotted it. He spotted it in the beginning when we were laying down uh, on a square box at the school. It's an elementary school or whatever. And it was like summertime or something. School was out. There was nobody there. It wasn't a school day or anything like that. And it was open, so people like myself would go play basketball or football and a lot of different activities at that school. So we were very familiar with all the ins and outs of like um, the different paths um, that give you entrance to that school on foot from different neighborhoods all around the neighborhood in a whole. You could get over there from the east, the north, the west, and the south onto um, the grounds at Sunny Slope. So, anyways, we're sitting there and somewhat close by where the swing sets are. There's a set of basketball hoops, and there was a football field over there. And this thing um, came and presented itself. But at first, when um, Jason seen it, we were like this. I was like, I'm laying on my back, and I was really irritated by being kicked out of the girl's house. So I was just like, what the hell? Why in the hell is this woman kick us out of here? And no place to go. And I could go to my parents' house where I lived, but I decided not to so that I wouldn't wake them up too early. So we went. I made my friend go with me and stop at the Sunny Slope School. And while we're sitting there, this object, just this little tiny dot, showed up, and it was going like crazy, just like doing this phenomenal like aerobatics. It was crazy insane. I was like, what in the heck? It looked like maybe Tinkerbell or something because of the way that they could move around. It was really weird. So he spotted it. He said, "Look at there," and I said to him, "Dude, leave me alone." I was about to get up and jump him. And like, didn't ever really have that much of a problem with Jason and want to fight him or anything really. But I was already irritated, so I was like, "What, man?" And he's all, "Look," and he goes like that. And there was this dot, and it kept coming closer, like it would reveal itself even more while it was sitting there going, doing weird stuff, and it was getting bigger as it was coming down. And then it finally, eventually came down. There was a black kid that walked through the school, and we were yelling at him, "Hey, stop, look!" And he kept on going, got the heck out of there. And so the thing kind of like did this uh, landing deal on the roof of the Sunny Slope School. There's a doorway into the school right there by the basketball hoops from where we were standing, and there's like a pillar-ish looking like thing on this awning, like huge, like wooden like thing up above the school up there, and the thing landed right on it, and I hit my friend. I said, "Jason," I said, "Dude, that thing landed. Let's go around to the other side of the school and see if anybody comes out or anything." not very aware that if it was from space or came from space, it actually has radiation on it. So it's actually could be toxic and could kill you. Just like the possibility of anybody inside, creatures inside, could come out, be exposed to our air or atmosphere, and then die, maybe blow up or something. But that didn't happen. The thing stopped us halfway around and showed itself to us. For some reason, I have no idea why, but it looked exactly like a pyramid in Giza, and it makes me think that all of this Roswell crash in Corona, New Mexico, the debris found by Mac Brazel was covered up by the U.S. Air Force at the time. Uh, Said it was a weather balloon or whatever. I believe that it was actually a planted stage event that happened that would take time to catch up with society in America and maybe the world on what really happened in the event. But if you're dealing with people in the government, you're dealing with a lot of people who are non believers. They don't believe in Jesus, they don't believe in God. Um, oh, excuse me, coffee makes me a little bit of gas. I'm sorry. Um, but non believers are going to say, hey, these are demons. Hey, this was planted by Satan. But that's what I think, and I'm not government. I'm not a Nazi communist, basically. I believe in God.